Hi, in today's episode, I wanted to share with you 15 new knitting patterns for April. Hi, welcome back to Knitting by the Bay. My name is Christy, and this is my making podcast where I talk mostly about knitting, but sometimes other crafts like embroidery or cross stitch or whatever I'm into at the moment. In today's episode, I wanted to share with you 15 brand new knitting patterns. Some of these are by some well-known pattern designers, and some of them are by some lesser-known designers. So I'm hoping that these patterns will give you some inspiration for some new designs to think about. So I've tried to organize these into different sections, some short sleeve patterns, some color work, and then some cardigans and some pullovers. All right, so let's get started with what I'm wearing. This is the Autumn Alpine. This is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. I knit mine using Durare Natura Ulysses in the color Legon and Pouvre Blanc. Okay, and now for the pattern bundle, let's begin with the t-shirts category. The first one on my list is the Neapolitan blouse. This is a pattern by Fable Knitwear. It's a fingering weight top knit with a 22 stitch gauge. This is knit on US 4 or 3.5 millimeter needles. The suggested yarn for this one is Fable Knitwear's own yarn called Athena. This is a blend of 75% merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellino, which is like a gold sparkly thread that runs through the yarn. I think that's a really interesting combination of fibers for this yarn. The Neapolitan blouse is inspired by the simple joy of Neapolitan ice cream. It has 3 bold stripes on a 1930s inspired shape and features a tailored shoulder, boat neckline, and soft puff sleeves. This top is worked top down for an effortless summer staple. I love how this cute color combination with the chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry ice cream, I think it's absolutely perfect for summertime. This sweater has only been knit to size 3XL because she was unable to find people to test the pattern for those sizes. So if you are interested in knitting this blouse, you can send her an email and she will send you the pattern for free. So that's awesome. The second t-shirt on my list is called the Whore Number 20. This is a pattern by Lone Kjeldsen. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And like usual, everything will be up on the screen as well as down below. I will include a link to my pattern bundle on Ravelry so you can get all of the information for all of these patterns there. So this is a fingering weight top with a 24 stitch gauge knit on US 2.5 or 3 millimeter needles. The suggested yarn for this one is Katia Lino 100% or BC Garn Lino. The Whore Number 20 is knitted top down and seamlessly in an easy knit purl pattern where a flat rib texture appears. I really like the shape of this top. It has a beautiful deep V-neck, which I love, and a nice seam that runs along the shoulder and the sleeve. I think it would be really comfortable, nice top for the summer. My third top is the Ida T by Petite Knit. This is a DK weight top with a 23 stitch gauge. It's knit on US 4 or 3.5 millimeter needles. The suggested yarns are many, but a lot of the projects so far were knit using Cardiff cashmere, which is a beautiful, I've never knit with it, but I've heard many good things about it. It's a pricier yarn, but this is a beautiful top. So if you wanted to splurge a little bit on some yarn, that might be the one to go for. It has a difficulty rating of intermediate. I haven't put down difficulty ratings for all of the patterns because they don't say in every single one of the patterns, but the ones that did, I've included that info as well. The Ida T is worked from the top down in a pattern of texture and contrast colored stripes. And I love the cute striped top. But this one also has a lovely texture in between the stripes that I think would keep your interest and make knitting this top a lot of fun. All right, my fourth pattern here is a colorwork top. This is called Trellis by KC Knitting Company. It's a DK weight sweater knit on with a 24 stitch gauge. You knit this one on US 6 or 4mm needles. The suggested yarn for this one is Amano Yarns Eco Puna. This is a refined colorwork top with a subtle floral motif and delicate gathers. It has set-in sleeves and gentle shaping at the neckline and back adds structure, while the bodice falls softly for an effortless silhouette. I love the soft blousy sleeves on this top and the cute gathers at the neckline, and they add a really nice detail. I think that anything with a gathering here is not great for me, so I probably wouldn't knit this top, but I wanted to include it because I think it's a really interesting, different sort of top. The color work is beautiful, and again, like those blousy sleeves are great. I just don't like when tops have gathering here. It creates this sort of weird effect at the bust area, which I don't really like. But yeah, I think that it's very interesting, the seam at the back that adds the structure to the blouse. I really like that detail. All right, my second colorwork sweater is the Sheep Sweater by Rosa Pomar. This is a light fingering weight 28.5 stitch gauge. It's knit on US 2.5 or 3mm needles. The suggested yarn is Retrosaria, which is a 100% Portuguese wool. This adorable sweater is knit bottom up in the round, and you choose your length just based on how many repeats of the sheep pattern that you do. It's written and charted, and it says the smaller sizes were designed with more ease at the bust, but size 3 has comparatively more ease than other sizes. I think that this pattern is so adorable, and I especially love the little baby lambs in the pattern in between the mama sheep. It's so cute. All right, another new colorwork sweater for April is the Knit Pearl Repeat Sweater by Greener Makes. This is a DK weight sweater with a 22 stitch gauge, and it's knit on US 6 or 4mm needles. The suggested yarn is Simila Melange GOTS, which is a lofty woolen spun yarn. And this one has a difficulty rating of intermediate. This sweater is a love letter to the slow, steady, repetitive movements of knitting that help us relax and find our way to the here and now, or simply a fun nerd shirt for our favorite hobby. The Knit Pearl Repeat Sweater is knitted seamlessly top down and mostly in the round, it says. Despite its relaxed fit with some positive ease, the saddle shoulders, set-in sleeves, and faux seams on the side ensure that this sweater fits well and drapes nicely. The pattern also includes instructions on how to incorporate waist shaping if desired. And yeah, I just love this sweater. I love the saying on this sweater. I think it's absolutely adorable. I really like to knit this one. All right, so my next pattern is the King Salmon by Caitlin Hunter. I think Caitlin Hunter has designed a few sweaters with fish on it. So this is her salmon sweater. It's a worsted weight sweater with an 18 stitch gauge, knit on US 7 or 4.5mm needles. The suggested yarn for this one is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. And I don't know if any of you have heard the news yet, but Brooklyn Tweed is actually not going to be selling yarn anymore. So I just saw this, I guess, last week. They've decided to stop their yarn production and just focus on patterns. So if you're able to scoop up any of this yarn right now, I would start looking for it if you're interested in using it to make this sweater. So the King Salmon is knit from the top down in the round, featuring short row shaping for the back neck and a bold salmon yoke motif. The yoke is intentionally quite deep. I know with her other pattern, which I think was a halibut sweater, not sure the name of it, but it was a very deep yoke for that one. And I think a lot of people didn't really like that feel of the yoke being so deep. But that is, I guess, how it had to be because of the size of the motif of the fish. And that will be the same with this salmon motif. So It says the yoke is intentionally quite deep for this design. So she recommends an oversized fit for the intended look and comfort. So if you were to make it to like without a lot of positive ease, I think it would just feel very strange. Like here, like you wouldn't be able to move your arms very well. So having it be more oversized, and the yoke will probably come down to, I think, about here. You need the wings to, or I mean the sleeves to have more of a bat wing effect to them so that it's more comfortable. And yeah, she says sizing down below the recommended positive ease is not recommended for this style. And yeah, like I said, this is another fish seam sweater by Caitlin. She did her halibut sweater in 2021 and added mittens, a cardigan, hat, and a cowl, all with that same pattern. And now she's released the king salmon sweater. And I think she also has the king salmon hat too. And yeah, I think it's really cute. The next one is the tulip pullover. This is a sweater by Lindsay Deegan. It's a DK weight pullover with a 19 stitch gauge. It's knit on US 7 or 4.5 millimeter needles. And the suggested yarn for this is Biche Bouche Le Petit Lambswool. And this sweater has a difficulty rating of intermediate. This sweater is worked from the bottom up in panels to accommodate the intarsia colorwork. Once the front and back are complete and the shoulder seams are joined, the sleeves are picked up and knit on. The side and underarm seams are finished in one continuous motion, and the mock neck is worked last. This is a really cute folk style intarsia sweater with a floral and vine motif. Lindsay Deegan, the designer, she creates some really bright and colorful, unique designs. I'll show some more of them up here. I really like the look of these. They're very folksy, very bright, very colorful, very different sort of patterns that are really, really cute, I think. I've never done any intarsia color work, so this would be a really cute project to try some out on. My next pattern is called the Pomona sweater. This is a pattern by Mathilde Marche. It's a sport weight pattern knit with a 24 stitch gauge, knit on US 4 or 3.5 millimeter needles. And the suggested yarn for this one is Rama Finial. The Pomona sweater is worked in the round from the bottom up using stranded colorwork from a chart. Armholes are steeked, shoulders are grafted, and the neckband is picked up and knit. Sleeves are worked separately and sewn on, and the front and back are identical. So the construction may not be my cup of tea. There's a lot going on here with just the construction of this sweater. You're knitting flat, you're you're knitting round, but from the bottom up, and you're steeking the armholes, which is something I still haven't done. And then you're grafting the shoulders, and what else are you doing? You're sewing in the sleeves. So there's a lot going on with assembling this sweater, but the strawberries are absolutely adorable. I really, really like this cute pattern. It has little, I think, what is it? Are they little mini strawberries? Oh no, it's more like a diamond motif, I think. And then the bigger strawberries. I think it's absolutely adorable. Okay, so my next and last colorwork sweater is the Echeverria. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's the Echeverria sweater by Carolina Adamczyk. I'll put that up on the screen. This is a worsted weight sweater with a 20 stitch gauge. The suggested yarn for this is Sandnes Garn Pure Gin. It's knit on a US 7 or 4.5 millimeter needle. The difficulty rating for this one is intermediate. It's knitted in the round from the top down, and the yoke features a colorwork pattern that looks like a succulent plant, or delicate lace, or even the rippling scales of a fish. Yeah, I just really like the beautiful color work on this pattern, and I love the color that's used in the sample, that beautiful pink color. It's sort of a pinky purpley color, and I really like that. Okay, number 11 on my list is the Ripple cardigan. This is by G. and it's designed for Hobie or Hobby. I'm never sure how to pronounce that yarn company name, but anyway, it's been designed for their website. It's a DK weight sweater with a 24 stitch gauge. The suggested yarn obviously is Hobby or Hobie Highland wool. And yeah, like I said, this pattern was designed for the Hobie website. It's knit on a US 4 or a 3.5 millimeter needle. The difficulty level for this one says experienced. This timeless V-neck cardigan is worked seamlessly from the top down using compound raglan shaping. The back and sleeves are knit in plain stockinette stitch, while the front showcases elegant ripple lace patterns for a subtle decorative touch. And this pattern is a free pattern available on their website. And I like the beautiful but simple lace pattern and the oversized feel of it with the deep V-neck. Okay, number 12 is the Come Back Again, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. This is her newest cardigan pattern. It's a sport weight cardigan, and Andrea Mowry, from what I've seen, likes to use a lot of sport weight yarns for her patterns. I find sport weight yarns a little bit more difficult to find. So if you are somebody that knits with them a lot, because I do enjoy them, this sweater is knit with the Durham Natura Ulysses, which is a sport weight yarn. So other than this one, I'm looking for other sport weight yarns. So if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments down below, because that would be great. And bonus points if there are yarns that you can find here in Canada, that'd be great. Okay, so this cardigan is knit flat from the bottom up. You will begin with the pocket so that your pocket becomes your gauge square, which I really like that, because yeah, it's not useless knitting or whatever. You repurpose it for the pockets of the cardigan. So that's great. The sleeves are knit in the round from the bottom up and joined to be worked together with the body for the yoke. The sweater is finished off with an applied double knit button band for a polished finish. I like the idea, like I said, of using the pockets as your gauge swatch. I think that's great. And I like the rib texture of this cardigan. I am not a fan at all of a double knit button band. I don't enjoy the process of it. And I knit one for my champagne cardigan by Petite Knit, and I felt like I probably didn't pick up the right amount of stitches or something. It bunches up at the bottom, so it pulls the cardigan up like this at the bottom. So something I did wrong there, or I knit it too tightly or something, but I don't like how that looks. So I would, for this pattern, probably just do a regular ribbed button band and not worry about the double knit one. I have seen, like, on the samples, and the sample of the champagne cardigan, it looks really great. But when I did my experience with it, I didn't enjoy it. It takes forever. And I don't like how it pulls it up at the bottom. So yeah. Okay, number 13 on my list is the Jean Cardigan by Joanna Garish. This is a beautiful lace cardigan. It's a DK weight yarn using, what is it here? Oh, sorry. It's a DK weight sweater. So you use lace paired together with a sport weight yarn again. It has a 22 stitch gauge, and the suggested yarn is Majo Garn Pearl Mohair held together with Majo Garn Fine Merino, and it's knit on a US 6 or a 4 millimeter needle. The difficulty rating for this one, she says, is advanced. This is a classic raglan style cardigan with a trendy wave lace pattern. And I think the lace pattern on this one is really pretty. I love how the sample is shown also with these beautiful knitted covered buttons. I think that's a really cool detail. So that would be really fun to try. I do have a lot of those covered button kits. So yeah, I could make some of those buttons. That would be fun. All right, number 14 is Cardigan number 10 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. This is a worsted weight cardigan with an 18 stitch gauge. It's the suggested yarn is Lang Yarns Yak, and it's knit on a US 8 or a 5 millimeter needle. So the cardigan number 10 is knit top down with a classic shape. It features a deep V-neck gentle waist shaping, and wide sleeves. The shoulders are shaped using the contiguous method for a clean fit. And it also has a double knit front band and a half fisherman's rib edges that add a subtle detail to it. And I really like that look of the half fisherman's rib on the cuff and on the hem. And I also like the look of the wide sleeves that it has. I think that they would absolutely annoy me so much to have those oversized sleeves, especially like when I'm working around the house and stuff. I don't like to have those big wide sleeves, but I really do like the look of it. I like the look of this, like the oversized cardigan too. And you know that I love having a deep V-neck, so that's a really great pattern for that. All right, and my last pattern on the list is called the White Run. This is a pattern by Melody Hoffman. It's an Aran weight lace sweater with a 12-stitch gauge. The suggested yarn for this one is Russin Alpaca. I probably said that wrong. You use 2 strands of this yarn held together, and you knit this on a 7mm needle. This piece features a fitted body with roomy sleeves for a balanced shape. The back is worked first, then stitches are picked up for the front panels. After casting on it the neckline, the body is joined and knit in the round. And it says that this design is inspired by Skyrim, which I think is a video game. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's what it says in the pattern. I love the oversized fit of this sweater, especially with the beautiful lace pattern. And I love that you knit on very large needles. I think it would give it a nice airy gauge. And it would be a really nice sweater, I think, even though it is an Aran weight sweater with that lacy feel to it. It would be a great sweater, at least for here, where I am in Canada, for springtime. All right, so those are all the patterns I have to share with you today. I hope you're able to find some inspiration from all of these lovely brand new April 2025 knitting patterns. I hope to be back in the next couple weeks, probably in about 2 weeks, to share with you some of my finished objects. I already have one, and I have 2 more that I think are very close to being done. So I can't wait to share those with you guys, and then also talk about some of my works in progress and some plans for some future knits. So until then, happy crafting, everyone. Bye.